Hello guys, this is MTech here, and today we'll be taking a look at the InStone 2D printer. This is the mini version, which costs us $200. First off, let's take a look at what comes with the printer. We have our charger, with a switch for turning it off and on, a USB-B style cable, a glue stick, a 1GB micro SD card with a micro SD card reader, and a scraper blade. Now that we have covered the accessories, let's take a look at the 3D printer. The 3D printer uses a bowden style extruder, which means the feeder gear isn't on the hot end, but instead is located on the side of the printer. This reduces the weight and size of the hot end, but also requires a larger retraction. The printer also has a filament holder, which is on the side, and this comes down like this. The size of filament that this 3D printer uses is 1.75mm. One thing to note about the 3D printer roll that comes with the printer is that it is smaller than a typical roll of filament, meaning the built-in filament holder isn't able to hold the roll of filament properly. On the top of the printer, we have a backlit display, a reset button for restarting the device, a micro SD card for the files, and a knob that can be pressed and twist to go down and up and select. There are two ways to insert G-code into the printer. You can either use the USB-B into the side and directly connect your computer, or you could use the micro SD card by slotting it into the slot. The printer's build plate can be removed by pressing down to a hole. It's held in place with magnets so you can take it out, and you can see a galvanized steel plate on the bottom. Since the build plate is made out of plastic, you can easily bend it to help pop off the part. To level the build plate, what you want to do is move this one screw. You can move it up by turning it left and moving it right to go down, and this is going to level the whole build plate. And this is how the screw is used to determine the height. This goes down, presses on the switch right there. And now let's take a look at the menu system and settings on the 3D printer. Here we have the main screen, tells you the temperature, the X and Y coordinates, and also the status of the print. By pressing down on the knob, we're able to go to the next menu system. Here we have three options. Let's take a look at the first one. So this is going to be your G-code on your micro SD card. So you can go down and pick whichever model you want to print. And once you find the one you want to print, you can just press down and it's going to start printing. The next option is Auto Stripper. This is going to remove the filament from the hot end and from the tubing. This is what you use for exchanging different types of filaments. As you can see, it's now preheating the hot end, is getting ready to remove the filament. After the hot end is fully heated up, the extruder will start pulling out the filament from the hot end. And for the last option, we have Heat Printhead. This is going to heat up the nozzle and allow you to put a new filament in. So you just have to wait for it to heat up. After it's done heating up, you just want to press down on the spring and feed the filament through there. Keep on feeding until all old filament is purged out of the tip. Now let's take a look at the contents of the SD card that came with the printer. The white files right here that I'm selecting right now, this is the G-code for all the files to print. Towards the bottom of the card, we have this picture. This is a picture of all the different renders for all the test files. So everything you see on here is what's going to be printed using these G-code files. In the folder that says software, it's going to be your software installation. You also have a manual for the 3D printer, and here's the program that they include. It's an older version of Cura that they have rebranded under their own name. The app works perfectly fine, but I highly recommend downloading a more updated version of Cura. Overall, this 3D printer is quite lightweight and also compact in size. It actually prints pretty decently and has a nice resolution, but I have some concerns on the longevity of the printer, since it has some tolerance issues. My first concern is the belt that carries the hot end carriage. As you can see, it is rubbing against that one spot and it's creating some powder, which means that the belt is being worn away. The second concern I have is the motor and its wires touching the rod for moving up and down. As you can see, it's turning and it's moving against the wires. Besides these concerns, the printer is quite solidly built and seems to be a really good choice if you want to get started into 3D printing. Although it doesn't have any heated build plate, which restricts you on the different types of materials that you want to use, and also it has a smaller build plate restricting you to small or medium sized models. You get a lot of 3D printer under your $200, especially since it's pre-built. After this point, the rest of the video is just shots of the 3D printer printing. So if you're interested in that, continue watching, but if you're not, this is the end of the review.